Deflection and width of crack, these both the terms is very important in RCC design. How we can calculate what is the permissible limit, all these things you can understand within this video. So please stay with me. Welcome to Civil Tech, this is Piyush. Let's start with deflection and crack width. See, deflection and width of crack both are serviceability requirement in structural concrete element. In IS 456 2000, clause number 35.3.1 and 35.3.2, they mention how we can calculate deflection and width of crack, also mention what is the permissible limits. So before starting my video, I am saying everyone, please go through the IS 456 and read once for better understanding. Based on my practical experience, I can say if you are preparing for any job interview, or if you are doing job also, that some kind you may face some kind of situation like your sir, your boss or client will ask you why you provide this kind of section here, why not you provide lesser than that, or why not you provide higher than that. That time you can explain with the reference of Indian standard codes. So please go through the IS 456 or other code and try to remember all the clause number which are important. Let's discuss about deflection and width of cracks. Crack will appearance or not, it somehow depend upon the range of deflection. If the deflection, excessive deflection is there, there is high possibility to produce a crack. How? I will going to explain. Suppose I design a beam using working stress method and also using limit state method. These two are cross section and this is longitudinal section. Section designed by limit state method, I will get smaller section and thin section comparatively working stress method. So obviously if I get any section thin, then there will be chances for excessive deflection. So if there is excessive deflection, then the stress will be more at the bottom of the beam. Suppose this is my beam and if the deflect is delta, then the stress will be more here. So I know and that concrete will be very weak in tension, then there will be chances to produce crack. So like that, deflection is one of the reason to appearance a crack. Now there is procedure to calculate the width of crack, and also IS could mention the permissible limit of cracks that I will going to explain later. Now I am going to explain about the types of deflection. There are two types of deflection. One is short-term deflection, one is long-term deflection. Short-term deflection, which is nothing but immediate deflection, and long-term deflection, which is due to shrinkage and creep effect. To calculate short-term deflection, there is so many methods like double integration method or Macaulay's method, moment area method, strain energy method. They all are theoretical methods to calculate the short-term deflection. If I am able to find out short-term deflection, I can calculate long-term deflection also. How? By multiplying lambda with short-term deflection. Lambda is called multiplying factor. How I will get the lambda value? To find out the lambda value, we need to find out xi and rho dash. Rho dash is nothing but compressive reinforcement ratio, and xi is time dependent factor. That rho dash value we can find out from IS 456. To find out the rho dash, we are considering the midspan for simply supported beam and continuous beam, and we are considering support for cantilever beam. Parameter xi is depend on the age of concrete. Suppose
the age of concrete is 5 years or more, then we are considering the xi value is 2. If the age of concrete is more than or equals to 12 months, then we are considering the xi value is 1.4, like that for 6 months and 3 months. This xi value and rho dash value, if we find out, then we can find out the lambda value using this formula. In thumb rule, we can say the long-term deflection is 2 to 3 times of short-term deflection. So you can remember this thing. Now I am going to discuss about the various factors which are influence short-term deflection and long-term deflection. Magnitude and distribution. For first, I will discuss about short-term deflection. That magnitude and distribution of live loads, span and type of end support, cross-sectional area of the members, amount of steel reinforcement and stress developed in the reinforcement, characteristic strength of the concrete and steel. Those are influence the short-term deflection. And for long-term deflection, the factors are humidity and temperature range, age of concrete at the time of loading, type and size of aggregates, water cement ratio, amount of compression reinforcement, size of member, etc. So these are various factors. Those are influence short-term deflection and long-term deflection. Now I am going to talk about deflection, limiting value of deflection. There is two stage. In IS 456-2000 clause number 23.2 mention about the limiting value. If you go through IS 456, you can see in first stage, when all horizontal members like floors and support are constructed, after that the value of deflection should not be more than span by 250. In second stage, when all structural components or elements including partitions walls are constructed, at that time the total deflection should not be more than 350 or 20 mm, whichever is less. So after design any structural member or any structure, we have to take care both the conditions, because IS 456 it is essential that both the requirements are fulfilled for every structures. So here I am going to finish deflection part. Now crack. Why crack occurred? As I said before, when excessive deflection occurred, that time the tensile stress is increased, and also we know concrete is very weak in tension. It may hence the crack is started. Now why we need to control crack width? To maintain long-term durability of concrete, the crack width should be within acceptable limits. As mentioned in IS 456-2000 clause number 35.3.2, they mention the crack width should be less than 0.2 mm. Now how we can calculate the crack width? The IS could mention one formula. This is the formula to calculate the crack width. There is WCR. WCR is nothing but crack width. To find out the crack width, there is some parameter, and this parameter is nothing but ACR, which is called shortest distance from the selected level on the surface to a longitudinal bar, and epsilon m, it is average strain of steel at the selected level. Now I am going to explain how we can find out the ACR and epsilon m. Suppose I consider a rectangular cross section of any beam. Here these are the bars. Now to find out ACR, what is ACR? This is the shortest distance from the considerable level to the longitudinal bar. That means, suppose I need to find out the crack width in this surface level of the cross section, then the ACR distance would be this one. Usually we find out the crack width center of the 2 bar, so that's why I am taking this point. So ACR would be this distance. So to find out this distance, what is the formula? S by 2 whole square plus DC square minus dV by 2. Now here what is S? S is the center to center spacing. DC is the effective cover. This is the effective cover, and dV is the diameter of bar. How we can find out DC? DC is nothing but the clear cover plus diameter of bar by 2. So using this formula, I can find out the value of ACR. Now similarly we need to find out the value of epsilon m. Epsilon m is what? Epsilon is nothing but the average strain. Now to find out the epsilon m, I need to refer the strain diagram. First we need to find out the strain at the surface level, where we have to find out the crack width. From this strain value, we need to deduct the strain at the level where reinforcement bar is placing. So if I know, if I am able to find out the epsilon 1 and epsilon s, then I can find out by deducting these two value the value of epsilon m. We can find out the value of epsilon n by using similar triangle formula, or otherwise we can use the formula which given in IS 456 NX F. These two formula we can get in IS 456. So if I know ACR and epsilon m, then I can find out the value of crack width. Here X is neutral axial depth, axis depth, and C minimum is clear cover, minimum clear cover. So after all getting all the parameters, then I can we can put the value on this formula, and we can find out the width of crack. That width of crack should be lesser equals to 0.2 mm. In special case, it is not more than 0.1 mm. It is mentioned in IS 456 2000 clause 35.3.2. Now I am going to discuss what are the variables those are influencing the crack width. These are the variables those are affecting the crack width. So to make the width of crack within acceptable limit, we need to take care this term: concrete cover, steel stress, reinforcement ratio, bar surface, and reinforcement arrangement. If we take care all this, then the width of crack should be within acceptable limit. So here I am going to finish today's topic. Thank you so much.
So hope this video help you to improve your technical skills. So very soon I will come with my next video. To get notification, please subscribe my channel and share and click on the bell button. Thank you so much.